matchup nightmare as the Oakland Zoo begins its bounce. Nice to see it in full voice. A proud program in search of an ACC regular season title. Pittsburgh in gold, the Eagles in maroon. And we are underway. Our Tuesday night doubleheader continues here in Pittsburgh, and the Panthers start with the basketball. 5 transfers in the starting lineup for Pittsburgh, and yet you watch them play, and it seems like they've been playing together for years.
Balance. 4 players in double digits in the starting lineup for Pitt, and I think that's what makes them so dangerous. Their ability on any given night, any one of those 4 guys can go off and have big offensive nights, but they're doing an excellent job spreading the ball around.
Jaden Zachary back in the starting lineup for Boston College in the backcourt with Makai Ashton-Langford. 10 different starting lineups this season for an Eagles team that's had to mix and match all season long.
And when we talked to Earl Grant this afternoon, he said, look, that's been a challenge, mixing and matching all these lineups, and he's done a pretty good job with this team as well, too, going through some challenging circumstances, not having a full roster.
Earl Grant in year number 2 at the helm of Boston College. Hinson, open 3. He'll usually make you pay from there. Misses.
That's going to be a key for Boston College. Earl Grant said, look, we must defend the 3-point line against a Pitt team that if you give them open threes, they generally will make you pay.
Miscommunication trying to get it into the post with Quinton Post. Highlighted him before tip-off. He's going to be a matchup problem for Jeff Capel and the Panthers tonight.
You can't say it enough, the job that Jeff Capel has done with this Pitt team this year. And I think a big reason, this guy right here, Federico, I think he's been the X factor. We talk about the 4 other guys that average double digits, but what he's provided for them in that 5 spot, rim protection, and then a guy that can finish around the basket, but he's got a tough matchup tonight against Quinton Post. Because of that right there, that 7-footer will step out and shoot threes. Again, he's become a matchup problem for opposing teams.
The highlights right there what makes him so dangerous. Here's Burton in attack mode. Contested. And he front rimmed it. A Boston College team that is dangerous on the road in the ACC. Ask Virginia Tech. They went in to Castle Coliseum on their last road game and won. That's a really tough place to play. Second chance opportunity for Post, but he traveled.
Well, Federico for Pitt, this is what he's provided. He's provided rim protection, but then when he's had his opportunities around the basket, he is definitely finished over 50% from the floor on the season for Federico.
Elliott for 3. Misfires. Pitt has started this game shooting just 1 for 6. Prince Elite Bay into the game, and he can't connect. 3 minutes gone by, only 5 combined points for these 2 teams, finding their footing offensively in the early going. Burton, a lot of contact, and a block is the call against Makai Ashton-Langford.
And that's what Pitt will do. They'll break up their offense and let Burton get into post. If there's a matchup they like, if they think there's a smaller guard on him, a lot of contact. But one of the things Jeff Capel talked about in shoot around, he said, look, BC is going to be a physical team.
Catch and shoot for Greg Elliott. It's a Pittsburgh team that we've seen a bunch of times this season, Malcolm, and they very much live and die by that 3. Post into the lane, misfires. You do not want to let this Panthers team get hot from deep.
Jay, I think the biggest thing with Pitt, and I go back to I had their Northwestern game when they beat Northwestern, a team that's at the top of the standings in the Big Ten right now. For me, their spacing. They do a really good job spacing, and I think it's how they get their threes. If it's off dribble drives, typically it's Burton and it's kicking out. That's when they create a lot of problems for teams. Again, their spacing and then ball movement really has been a big reason why they've had success this year.
5 seconds to shoot. Burton right to the rack, and he missed it, but draws the foul in the process.
This is just a great drive by Burton. Again, Jaden Zachary, pretty good defender for Boston College. That's just a blow by, and the help is not there for Boston College.
Burton makes the first. Nothing but net every Thursday, 10 Eastern, right after our women's basketball doubleheader. The Nothing But Net crew will break down what's always a wild night in the ACC. Tell you everything you need to know in ACC women's hoops.
Jay, we talked a lot about Burton. His offense, defense. He's also an excellent free throw shooter as well, too. In ACC play, 89% from the free throw line. So, again, a guy that really very few holes in his game.
Tough contested look, but off the window and in for the freshman Devin McLaughlin.
Earl Grant said one of the things that come out of some of the injuries is McLaughlin and also Chaz Kelly, who's out on the floor with him right now. Those guys getting extended minutes. And he found out a lot about his freshmen, really excited about their future.
Great defense from Zachary, now pushing it in transition. Jaden Zachary, coast to coast, rolls in, doesn't drop. Hinson travels. Pittsburgh, Boston College, just getting started on our Tuesday night ACC. Ranked number 7 in the country in the AP poll. Miami, number 15. I look at AP poll. I'm not a net guy. I don't know how Jeff Capel's team right now is not ranked in the top 25.
It doesn't make sense to me either. And again, you look at their resume, but then who they've beat. Again, really tough to argue keeping them out of the top 25. But certainly they've continued to prove folks wrong.
Great defense on post. He's frustrated. It's in the trailer. Dangerous from deep. Left that short.
And you notice the last possession offensively for Boston College. Pitt's going to double post. Every time he gets the ball in the post, they're going to go and double. They're not going to leave him single coverage.
Hell no.
Elliott from 3. Can't connect. Tapped out. Hinson backs up. He fires. And this time it drops. BC answers with a 3. Mason Madsen, the junior sharpshooter, with an immediate answer.
And that's what he's in the game for. Space the floor. That's a nice play by Chaz Kelly, the freshman. Dribble, drive, draw the defenders, 2 of them, and then kick it out to your shooter.
So Bandy a 3. Rims out. Chaz Kelly has given this Eagles team some big-time minutes off the bench. Last time they played on the road, he delivered a career-high 17. Now getting into the assisting game. Back-to-back assists there for Kelly, and we're tied at 10.
And that's what Earl Grant and staff are happy with. They know he can score, but again, you see the last 2 possessions, he's making reads, playing like a point guard, setting up his teammates for some open looks.
Up ahead, Zachary. Great poise with Federico. Federico bearing down, and BC has taken its first lead of the night on a 7-0 run.
And they're getting it done on both ends, defensive rebounding, and then they're getting stops, forcing some turnovers and difficult shots in this last 3-minute stretch.
Offensive foul, Zachary getting it done on both ends.
And Jay, right now, Earl Grant must be pleased with the spacing. Look at this right here, the freshman, Chaz Kelly, make a read, draw 2 defenders, set up by the spacing that Boston College has, and then defensively being active in the passing lanes, and then out right here, nice little up and under by Jaden Zachary, and that's the formula that Boston College wants. Slow the pace down and then force Pitt into some difficult possessions, and then try to get out in transition or get into the paint.
Another great pass leads to 2. 9-0 Eagles run, and they've taken the crowd out of it here in Pittsburgh. Nelly Cummings stolen away. 5th turnover for Pitt, and BC's making them pay an 11-0 run.
Jeff Capel told us at shoot-around, Boston College is probably the most physical team in the ACC. He said if his guys if they're not strong with the ball, there's going to be some turnovers in this game.
3 turnovers in the last 2 minutes for Pittsburgh, and BC has capitalized. CJ Pena getting in on the act. It's an 11-0 shot out of a cannon right now on an 11-0 run.
And they're getting it done with their defense. Steele being physical in the passing lanes, and then they've had some excellent spacing. They're getting high percentage shots on the offensive end, all set up though by their physical defense.
This team has been completely different since Quinton Post has come back from his foot injury, missed 13 games, including these losses. And what's so interesting, Malcolm, is if they have Post for these games, they're on the bubble right now.
Certainly, again, you look at the first 2, I called that main game. They were also without Prince Aligbe in that game as well, too. So 2 guys that are starters for them. I think the biggest one, though, obviously, is Quinton Post. We talked about what he's done in the last 7 games. And not too many players in college basketball putting up the numbers that he has for Boston College in that 7-game stretch.
Boston College with wins against Clemson, on the road against Virginia Tech, and right now playing the #1 team in the ACC. If the tournament started today, Pitt would be a 1 seed in that ACC tournament in Greensboro. 1 second left on the shot clock. So what do you draw up here if you're Earl Grant?
It's got to be some type of tip. The key thing for Pitt, though, defensively, you cannot foul. Switch and communicate on any screens. Just don't want to give up anything lob at the basket or foul and bail Boston College out.
Quick 3, Madsen. Can't hit it. Did well to get it off. Here's Nelly Cummings. Jorge Diaz-Graham draws a foul. Only 1 point in the last 3 minutes and 13 seconds. No made field goals. 3 turnovers for Pitt. How do they get their offensive rhythm going?
It's exactly what Jeff Capel talked about in shoot-around this afternoon. Being strong with the ball. When you go into the lane against Boston College, they're going to hit you. He said that. Look, they're going to make contact with you. Be strong with the ball and then go from there.
Cummings, scoop to the hoop.
Just like that right there. Beautiful move by Cummings. Coming up underneath on the up and under.
Boston College has made 5 of their last 7. Cross-court pass, nearly intercepted. Instead, Pena got a 3 off, saves it. Great job following his own miss. And now a jump ball. Possession arrow stays with BC.
And this is what Pitt is going to need right here. Again, individual plays, break the D down. This time Cummings scoring for himself. Now that's a difficult shot. He made it look easy, but they're going to have to do that against this Boston College team. Break them down, see if you can get into the gaps. Either draw to score for yourself or draw a defender and then kick out for your 3-point shooters.
The officials just making sure that the clock is correct. About midway through this first half, and defense so far winning out. Pitt just 4 of 12 from the field. A team that likes to get hot, especially from 3, and they've only made 2 tonight. Zachary spinning in to a ton of contact. No call. Sabandi, and that's a goaltend. Count the bucket for Nike Sabandi. How about the acceleration?
Yeah, he was like a jet in the open court. Great burst of speed. The thing I like about Nike Sabandi, he's got a great change of direction right here. Look at this little inside out, froze the defender, Eligbe, and then he was just right by him. Had nothing else to do but goaltend. That's just a great explosion by Nike Sabandi in transition.
And again, a clock issue following the goaltend.
So just got word from the referee. The issue is the shot clock is freezing. So mid possession a couple times, the shot clock has just froze.
Jaden Zachary, you cannot leave him open. Limited minutes in the last 2 games. He's battling through some injuries. It's that time of the season, mid-February, when you've got a couple niggles here and there.
And this is key for Boston College. Again, spacing, breakdown by Pitt, no communication on the, really it's just a rub screen, not even really a screen. And Zachary knocks it down. Now that's key for Boston College in conference play. They only average 5 threes made per game. Pitt right now is electing to try to pack again because Boston College is a team that scores typically in the paint.
Well, they've already made 3 tonight. Sabandi, kick out. Cummings follows his own miss, but then stepped on the line. 6 turnovers now for Pitt, increasingly frustrated on the offensive end.
And credit Boston College, their defense. They're doing a nice job contesting and then closing out. Again, when they're getting beat off the dribble, they're helping, but then they're getting back to recover.
Post double team comes. Great passing from Boston College. Playing with a lot of confidence on the road against the #1 seed in the ACC. Shot clock down to 7. Deep 3. And he buries it. Makai Ashton Langford.
Best offensive possession of the night for Boston College. Earl Grant said part of their defense is be patient on offense. Run a lot of clock. See if you can get Pitt spread out, run them off screens, and then get a high percentage shot at the end.
Nelly Cummings answers exactly what Pitt has needed. Inside the post. He's fouled. Guillermo Diaz-Graham called with the foul on post.
This right here, again, it shows the spacing that Boston College has had. Look at the spacing on the floor. All 4 guys out on the perimeter are spread out. And then right here, the defense breaking down by Boston College. Nice little backdoor action that time.
Going back to the Ashton Langford three, isn't that a shot you live with if you're Pitt?
It is, but Jeff Capel told us the one guy who has hurt him over the last 2 years has been Mekhi Ashton Langford. He said that right off the tip after he talked about post. He said the other guy they have to be aware of is Mekhi Ashton Langford. Every time he's played against Pitt, he's averaging close to 18 points a game in his last outings against Pitt.
He has been a Panthers killer. You just said it, Huck. Near 18 points a game, shooting better than 50% from the floor and from three. So far, that has continued tonight. Burton, Zachary all over, has to kick it out. 7 seconds to shoot. Cummings in attack mode, floater, nothing but the bottom of the net.
Love his mid-range game. That's a beautiful little jump stop and then floater. That's a difficult shot. Cummings making it look easy. Excellent body control.
Drilled into post, wasn't ready for it. Pitt dangerous in transition. Hinson calling for it. That's why Blake Hinson.
And Jay, what won't be talked about in that play? The screen that Burton set to free him up.
Ashton Langford too much on it. And it's Pitt basketball. Hinson starting to heat up. He has 2 threes. Pitt has made 3 in a row. Nelly Cummings getting on the act as well. And we've got a great back and forth game in the ACC.
Jay, Pitt averages 9 threes made per game, and any good three-point shooting team has guys that are willing to set screens. Look at Jamarius Burton setting a little back screen to free up Hinson right here, and that little thing right there, it may not show up in the scorebook, but that is huge and a big reason why they're shooting the 3 ball and they get quality looks. Their guards and also bigs are willing screeners.
7 minutes left to this first half. Boston College lead down to 2. Eagles led by as many as 7. Cummings into the lane. He had made 3 in a row before that miss. Boston College dialed in defensively, so physical. It's been a great back and forth ACC game. Posts. Left it short. Elliott give and go. Cummings has been the initiator tonight. 10 on the timer. Feeds it in to Hinson. Has the height advantage. And uses.
Pitt's done that a couple of times now. This time with Hinson. They've done it with Burton. Anytime they get a matchup that they think they can get Hinson or Burton posted up in, they're just going to it.
Stolen away. Cummings. Burton there. And he's fouled on the follow.
And Jay, this is just great recognition by Pitt. Again, they're breaking off their offense. Put Hinson down in the post. They think they have an advantage in size with him over Zachary. He wins out in that one right there. And again, because they shoot the 3 ball so well, Boston College really reluctant to come down there and help. Excellent design play and then recognition by Pitt.
And Burton gives Pitt back the lead. 8-0 Panthers run. You know, the break, they just brought out Pittsburgh's women's lacrosse team, 2nd year in the program's history. We've got women's lacrosse right here on the ACC network. Top 10 matchup Saturday, noon Eastern time. The defending national champions, North Carolina, welcoming in Florida. And if you've never watched the sport before, tune into that game and you will see why it is the fastest growing sport in the country. So much fun. I'm a huge lacrosse fan, and I'm happy that this is the crossover season between basketball and lacrosse. Boston College has allowed Pitt to grab back the lead. Panthers on a 9-0 run. Post rattles it home to tie it at 26.
He's just a matchup problem. Again, they'll post him if you don't double. He's got a great post game. We've already talked about his three-point shooting, over 40%. Really, the 7-footer for Boston College doing it all.
Elliott buries a three. And with 5 minutes to go in this first half, Pittsburgh back in front.
Again, the screens. That's a beautifully designed play. Pin down screen. And the footwork coming off, really, that's something. Watch that.
Tons of contact off the ball, and they say it's against Quinton Post, who then reached out and got a leg of Elliott. We've told you all night this is a physical matchup. And you see tempers flaring between Post and Elliott. Take another look.
It's been getting chippy now. Again, I'm not. Yeah, and then there was a kick right there. Now again, it's been. I think they're calling the hook. And then afterwards. Yeah, again, the referees are going to clean this up. They don't want this thing to get out of control. We knew coming into it, it was going to be a physical game.
Now, Quinton Post obviously frustrated with the hook call, but you can't reach out and grab a leg like that.
No. Certainly not, and again, he's too valuable for Boston College to pick up fouls like that. Again, now I think it's going to be up to the refs. They're going to clean this up.
Boston College and Quinton Post led this game 16-10. Since then, Pittsburgh on a 19-10 run. You see the physical play all night long that led to the tempers flaring.
And this right here, this last one, I think the referees are going to clean it up with that.
Elliott talking to Nike Sabandi over on the bench. What happened? Huck just got word from the officiating crew. What did they have to say?
So, unsportsmanlike, technical, and what they're going to do right now is because there's two technicals on both teams, it offsets, and now it's going to be Pitt ball. I think that the key thing out of this, Jay, right now is the referees have warned both coaches and both benches. They are not going to allow any more physical play to go on. So now the players are going to have to adjust.
So both Post for BC and Elliott for Pittsburgh called for a technical foul.
Yes.
And we are back underway. Pittsburgh riding a 12-2 run. In front by 3 with 4:40 left in this first half. That's a moving screen against Federico.
And now you can see that may have maybe play on. Now they're going to call everything. They're going to clean it up. Any physical play, any extracurriculars, you better believe they're going to call it.
Coming off the screen. Rims out for Madsen. Good chance to tie it. Kick to the corner. Hinson. He got it. Three threes in this first half for Blake Hinson. He leads the Panthers with 11. seconds left on the shot clock. PC has to hurry. Zachary hoists it up. Way off the mark. And it is all Pittsburgh right now. Hawk Panthers on a 15-2 run.
And their spacing continues to be on point. Right here in the lane, finding Hinson, wide open look. Pitt makes him pay. Right now, they're on a little mini run.
Felton Jeffrey Capel Jr. Jeff told us today they've raised over $300,000, which was enough money to do a clinical trial with Duke University. And in addition to the money, he said nights like tonight just help spread awareness to just what is an absolutely horrible disease.
Yeah, and he's talked about, his time, his father battling this disease, and you take a look at Jason as well too, and it's something that hits close to home to both these men, and really just a phenomenal job that they've done, not only raising money but bringing awareness to this. And he said, look, it's impacted us, and we're going to continue to fight to try to come up with a cure for this disease.
Missing the front end of the 1-and-1, Federico. Largest lead of the night for Pittsburgh. Panthers on a 15-2 run. We've had 4 lead changes 3 times. It's been pretty back and forth in this first half. Foul against Blake Hinson. Team foul number 5 for the Panthers.
And Jay, I think the big thing, look, Pitt has matched the physicality that Boston College brings. They've been tough with the ball, and then they've been able to break it down, their defense, and get some open looks. But this guy right here,
Madsen, he has been a firecracker off the bench for BC tonight. 2 threes.
And the thing with him, if you're not connected to him and they're on the catch, he's got a quick release.
Another off the ball foul, this time called against TJ Bickerstaff. You can see this officiating crew is now really dialed in on all that contact off the ball and quick to whistle.
I said it, look, they're going to call everything now in terms of the physical play. So these guys are now going to have to adjust. If you're Boston College in this situation here, you do not want to put Pitt on the free throw line. Obviously, that's their style of play. But they're now going to have to adjust to how the officials are blowing the whistle.
Ashton Langford with 3 fouls, Post with 2, Bickerstaff now with 2, so some foul trouble to consider for Earl Grant. And Pitt now with the double bonus, so shooting 2 the rest of the half. McLaughlin lines up a 3, can't connect. Federico, send it in!
That's why I call him the X Factor. Defensive rebound and then rim runner. One of the best in the ACC. That's a beautiful transition to the offensive side by Federico.
Look, we've had him on the all-name team for a while, but he's backed it up with the way he's played in conference play. Take another look at this.
And this is the dimension he brings to this team. Defensive rebound and then rim run. Federico with the finish. And Jay, the thing I like about him, 65% from the floor, leads the team with 48 blocks. And then his ability, though, to run the floor really, I think, has been a big reason why Pitt really defensively under-talked about. We talk about their three-point shooting and spacing, but defensively, he is the anchor to that D.
The shades of Jerome Lane with the thunder that he brought to the rim. Especially in the absence of John Hughley. Federico has stepped up in such a big way. He does it all.
Yeah, he's different from what they missed with Hughley offensively. Yes, he's not a guy you're going to dump it down low to in the post all the time, but rim protection and then I think screen and roll coverage. I think that's the big thing that he provides. He's very mobile for a big.
Another turnover for Pitt. Bickerstaff in transition. And he traveled.
Missed opportunity for Boston College right there in transition. But again, they forced a turnover against Pitt. Take a look at the numbers. Points off of turnovers. Boston College 2-point advantage, 9 points to Pitt 7. And that's going to be key. That was a theme for Jeff Capel when we talked to him this afternoon after the shoot around. He said, look, we cannot turn the ball over against this Boston College team. Who's very physical and active in the passing lanes.
Elliott double teamed, passes out of it. 10 seconds to shoot for Burton. Back to Elliott, a three, and he's fouled. So Greg Elliott will get 3 from the line. Very costly foul on Mason Madsen.
And that's really a breakdown by Madsen. Again, Zachary has Burton contained right there, so there's certain guys you can't overhelp off of. And Burton's such a smart player. That time he saw Madsen come over to help a little. Immediately kicks it out, and that's a big reason why Burton is one of the most complete players in college. Right there again, help. Yeah, he got him. Again, you have to allow the offensive player a chance to land. And
Elliott misses the second. Good opportunity for Pittsburgh to create some separation here at the end of the first half. It's been really back and forth. Pitt 8 of 12 from the line in this first half, and now a 6-point lead with a minute left. Here's Chaz Kelly. Beat up by Sabandi. Dispossessed. Bickerstaff trying to get it. 7 seconds left on the shot clock. Scoots out of bounds, and it's Pitt ball.
Pitt doing a nice job playing that pack line D. Really, they're creating bodies in front of Boston College, a team they know wants to get into the paint. Pitt very active with their hands and then throwing bodies in front of Boston College when they dribble drive.
Use it or lose it. Timeout. Jeff Capel elects to use it. We'll use it as well. Pitt up by 6. Reminder to fans to download the ACC 3-point challenge app presented by New York Life. Malcolm Huckabee, Jay Alter with you. Well, in this first half, we've got 17 fouls, 16 turnovers. That shows you the type of physicality both teams have brought on a Tuesday night in the ACC.
And Jeff Capel and staff, they know, look, that's Boston College's identity. They're going to grind you out. They're a team that wants to force you into difficult shots. You're going to have to be strong with the ball.
Tapped out to Hinson. He buries it. Blake Hinson. His 4th 3 of this first half. The contested shot goes begging. Pitt still has time. 3 seconds for Elliott. Heaves at the buzzer. Way off the mark. But Pittsburgh ends with an extremely strong finish to this first half. Largest lead of the game for the Panthers at 9.
Grind it out.
Yeah, Hinson had 4 of Pitt's 6 made threes. It's the Panthers that start with the basketball and a 9-point lead. Hinson leads the way with 14, but balanced scoring from Elliott and Federico as well. Under 10 to shoot. Double team comes in, then post retreats. Federico decides to pull the trigger. That's not his shot. What's the recipe for a Boston College comeback in the second half?
Well, I think the biggest thing for them, it's going to start with their defense. They gave up too many three-pointers, in particular to Hinson. Defend the three-point line. That's something Earl Grant said. And then this guy right here, Quentin Post, they're going to try to have to re-establish him, get him some touches in the paint as well.
Wide open look for Mackay Ashton Langford, and he knocks it down.
Nice head fake that time by Mackay Ashton Langford. Again, if you're Pitt, you'll live with Boston College shooting threes. Not sure if they want to close out like that, out of control, and then allow Ashton Langford to get into his pull-up game.
Ashton Langford, 3 fouls in that first half, so he sat for the majority of it. Great defense from Post. Ripped away. Burton has it for Pittsburgh. Pull up, pop, and he hits it.
I'm going to say it again. For me, Jamarius Burton should be at the top of the list when you start talking about player of the year. That sums him up. Get a steal and then lead the break. That time, pulling up under control. He is a complete player. He can get it done on both ends of the court, impacting the game.
Zachary, 7 seconds to shoot. Kick to the corner. No good. Good look, but McLaughlin couldn't quite knock it down. Blow by, everything but the finish. Missed layup for Nelly Cummings. Both teams starting to run. Great tip in from Ashton Langford.
And that's a break. Cummings normally would make that. Boston College picks up the miss and then races down the other end. And gets a really good transition too.
4-point swing. Burton loaded it up there. Rejected. The second effort doesn't go. And now Zachary has it for the Eagles. Offensive foul. Quentin Post, that is his third.
Again, the heads-up play, Jamarius Burton realizing that's their 7-footer. He's so important to Boston College. Baited him into that charge. Again, his basketball IQ as well, too, on display right there. That's a great defensive play by Jamarius Burton.
Yeah, Post, a frustrating night. 3 fouls and only 2 of 6 from the floor. And another offensive foul. This one against Greg Elliott. Remember, it was Elliott and Post who got tangled up and called for technical fouls in the first half.
And what they're saying is he moved in the path of Mackay Ashton Langford, impeded his process. Again, I think it's more he didn't come to a set.
All the way to the rim. Nobody picked up Zachary. Great feed. Federico, the answer.
That's a nice little dunk ball pass by Jamarius Burton. Now, right now, Boston College problems on the ball screen, and that's something that Jeff Capel said they wanted to do. Put Quentin Post in a lot of ball screens, see if they can wear him out.
The trailer, Burton left alone. Can't connect, passes out to Zachary. And he lays it up and in. A fortunate bounce to Jaden Zachary, who just had to take it the whole way with nobody in front of him. How many times do you get the rebound if you're standing on the logo?
Not many. Definitely a gracious role for Boston College. Right now, look, they're going into a matchup zone.
Cummings decides to shoot over it, and he drills it.
And that's the problem when you go zone against Pitt. They have 4 guys out on the court that can knock down threes. If you go matchup zone, you must communicate.
Quentin Post lost the handle. for as good as he has been the last month for BC, Post not having his best night tonight.
All right.
Eagles battling on the road, though. Eagles have cut it to 5. That 3 gives it an 8-point lead for Pitt. The Panthers on a 5-game win streak, 11-3 in conference, and yet still unranked, not getting a ton of love nationally for whatever reason. So here's a blind resume. Quad 1. One team is 5-2, the other is 4-6. The net 21-51 seems totally lopsided. The conference records 11-3, 8-7. So let's reveal. That's Rutgers on the left, Pitt on the right. And again, we're not computers, we're humans. Talk me through, Malcolm, when you see that, what do you think?
I'm confused. And
right?
Again, we talk about their win, Pitt versus Northwestern. Again, a Big Ten team. I called that game. It was a clinic that Pitt put on in that game. You look at what they've done against top 25 teams. In particular, some of those on the road. They've been a very good road team as well, too. And you look at this number right here again. Computers, all this other stuff, numbers don't lie. And you look at what they've done. Pitt, they're right up there with some of the best teams.
Look at that. Alabama, number 1. Purdue, number 3. UCLA, number 4. These are the best teams in the country. And Pitt can't even get ranked. They're right amongst them.
Yeah, again, look, I think that in reality, a lot of it has to do with a lot of people just, they weren't expecting this from Pitt, myself included. Again, you see them, I saw them against Northwestern. I said, look, they look obviously improved, but nobody thought that they would be a team that's at the top of the standings right now in the ACC.
Hinson, deep 3, he hits it! Blake Hinson buries his 5th 3 of the night.
They are just a dangerous team, and they do a great job spacing the floor, in particular in their secondary break. And they have shooters all over the floor.
Stolen away, up ahead to Elliott. Rejected at the rim, great hustle. Elliott helped up.
Jay, we talked about what Federico means to this team. Elite rim protection, right there, denying a bucket for Boston College, and then right here in their secondary break, we talked about the first half that Blake Hinson had. Really, just phenomenal job facing the floor.
Great hustle continues from Devin McLaughlin, leads to a 3, and that's an air ball. And the Oakland Zoo will let Madsen hear it. BC in a scoring drought of nearly 2.5 minutes. Pittsburgh, a 6-0 scoring run, has opened up the largest margin for either team tonight. Burton. Oh, he's so crafty.
Can score at all 3 levels. That time showing off the mid-range. He's so strong and one of the better defenders in college.
Much needed bucket off the mark. Just as we were talking about Pittsburgh not getting enough love nationally, the Panthers have gone on an 8-0 run to blow this game wide open. Hinson thought about it, gave it up to Cummings, floater, rolls on in, 10-0 Pitt run.
Well, Nelly Cummings has shown off the floater game, his mid-range really, and body control, his ability to shoot floaters and runners over defenders, really impressive.
Zachary fighting through traffic, draws the foul.
And this is something we've seen multiple times tonight by Nelly Cummings. Again, that's a tough floater with McLaughlin coming up to try to block it. Great body control and concentration to get that up and over.
Jeff Capel's team in the last 3 minutes have taken what's been a back-and-forth close game and made a really comfortable lead for themselves.
And I think the big thing, they really have neutralized Quentin Post. A couple of things. Jeff Capel talked about it in their scouting report, what they wanted to do. They wanted to try to get him in foul trouble, double him, make somebody else for Boston College score, and then they put him in a lot of pick and roll situations. He's using a lot of energy, hedging on ball screens and pin downs for the wing players of Pitt.
So Bandy rises, fires off the mark. Kelly, that rims out. Boston College without a field goal in the last 4 minutes. Tapped out, Cummings has it. New shot clock for Pitt. From the corner, Hinson. Looking for what would have been 6 threes on the night for Hinson. But doesn't drop. 4.5 minutes without a bucket for Boston College. Hinson from the opposite corner. Counted, plus the foul. A chance for a 4-point play. And Blake Hinson has 6 made threes.
And all set up by Nelly Cummings. Dribble, drive, and kick it out to one of the better three-point shooters in the ACC. Blake Hinson still
needs a heat check.
He's the only player in the ACC averaging over 15 points a game, 6 rebounds, and 62 threes made. This is what he does. He creates matchup problems for opposing teams because of his ability to knock down threes. And Pitt in this game has done a nice job finding him. That time in transition, dribble drive, find Blake Hinson in the corner, and he continues his hot shooting.
He's already made 6 threes tonight. Now has a chance to make this a 4-point play. Was fouled making a 3 before the break. 7th game of the season that he's had 20 points or more. And he completes the 4-point play.
And Jay, because of his frame, they can basically play him at the 4 spot. He's able to guard other 4s, and then also you see here switch out on ball screens and go out and guard point guards or 2s. He's a really one of the most versatile players in the ACC. Really does a nice job of creating flexibility for Jeff Capel and staff on both ends.
We're talking about Hinson defensively, and he comes up with a steal. Boston College trailed by 9 at halftime, cut it to 5 twice. Couldn't get any closer than that. And now they haven't made a shot in 5 minutes and 20 seconds. Hinson. That was the heat check, and it missed. Would have been a 7th made 3 on the night. Through contact, a league bay, no good. Bounces out, rattles in and out, no good. That's the type of second half it's been for Boston College.
And if they want to get back into it, they're going to have to do a better job defending the 3-point line. And then right here, this is a mismatch for Pitt. They're just going to ISO and let Sabandi go to work.
Fails to take advantage of the mismatch. Zachary trying to provide some instant offense. Post can't tip it in. Zachary the save, but right to Elliott. Outlets it to Hinson. Falls to Sabandi, and he lays it up. Well, this is getting ugly offensively for Boston College. They've missed 10 in a row. Desperately need to make a shot. Now 11 straight misses. Up ahead, Federico
Federico. All name team, but right here, rim running. Reward the big man.
Earlier about his dad, and it said that so many great memories, including going back to him getting inducted on that day in 1977.
Yeah, and he said actually Boston College football was playing Pitt football on that day that they inducted his father into the Hall of Fame. And that picture is his screensaver on his computer at home. So certainly has a great BC connection and certainly great memories of his dad.
Elliott transition three, got it! Pitt on a 21-2 run over the last 7 minutes.
Scoring droughts and then lack really defending the three-point line for Boston College. Now that one right there, again, that's a contested three. But on this end right here, I think Boston College, they've struggled making shots. And then I think Quentin Post, they try to get him involved, get him some touches.
That is now 13 straight misses for Boston College. Jaden Zachary made a field goal at 16:51 to make it 44-39. Since then, BC has not made a basket.
And this right here, I think, defensively, again, they're imbalanced. You have Quentin Post, your 7-footer, trying to get out and defend a point guard on the other end. Pitt's doing a great job running their transition offense and then getting some quick hits.
Finally a make for BC after 13 consecutive missed shots. A field goal drought of more than 7 minutes, and it's allowed Pitt to make what was a 5-point game now a 22-point game. Burton keeps it alive. Elliott again. He hits it again. Raining threes, the 11th of the night for Pitt.
And Jamarius Burton, again, unselfish play. Could have easily tried to put that ball back up, realizing his guy is hot. Get a loose ball, find your shooter, get him a wide open look.
And a much needed three, an immediate answer through Mason Madsen. Santos, nice turnaround jumper.
Trading buckets right now. That's not going to do it. Right now, 7 minutes to go in this game for Boston College. And really, it has been all Pitt. They cannot miss.
Sabandy lost the handle. Pittsburgh well on their way to extending this win streak to 6 games. If the ACC tournament started today, your #1 seed are these Pitt Panthers. He ends every pre-game shoot-around with 1-0. Let's go 1-0 by the end of the night. So far tonight, so good. Ongoing 1-0, and that would make them 12-3 atop the ACC.
Yeah, and he's been consistent all year. That's been his theme and also message to his team. Let's focus on one game at a time. It has worked really well for them. And again, they can beat you in so many different ways. I think under talked about is their defense as Quentin Post misses another pretty good look by that time, but the defense collapsed down. Now he's stuck at 7 points. And Jay, he's a guy that came into this game in the last 7, averaging over 20 points a game. You have to give Federico a lot of credit for the job he's done on Quentin Post.
So a team that was picked 14th in the ACC preseason would be alone at the top of the ACC by the end of the night if they hang on here. Yet Joe Lunardi only has the Panthers as a 9 seed. You see Virginia's a 3, Pitt beat them head-to-head. Miami's a 5, Pitt beat them head-to-head. And NC State's even an 8, who lost to Syracuse earlier tonight. And Pitt beat them on the road, only loss in PNC Arena all year long.
Yeah, you're confusing me because I don't know all these numbers, how they're not ranked much higher and not in the top 25 to me. Again, it makes no sense to me the way that they're playing. As we take a look at Madsen with another three, he has been, I think, one of the bright spots for Boston College tonight. Offensively, his three-point shooting, and then defensively, he's been solid. But back to my point about Pitt, look, I think they must start getting consideration for the top 25. All the numbers are there. Road wins and then top 25 wins. Really, it's, again, baffling that they're not there already.
Yeah, I think they're closer to a 4 or 5 seed than an 8, 9 seed. We'll see how it plays out. We'll see what the committee says on Selection Sunday. The one thing that all Pitt fans could agree on, despite the seeding, is did you think in mid-February this team would be alone at the top of the ACC and could be a 1 seed in Greensboro?
Well, they opened some eyes. Again, I called the challenge game when they went and dismantled Northwestern at Northwestern. Again, a team, another team that a lot of folks didn't think was going to be at the top and contending in the Big Ten, but they went down there and put on a clinic offensively with their spacing and three-point shooting to go along with excellent defense. But you're right, I don't think anybody thought that they would be in this position right now.
And once again, taking care of business tonight. 5 minutes away from another 1-0. The mantra all season long for Jeff Capel would improve the Panthers to 12-3 in the ACC. You mentioned the road wins, Hawk. In conference play, Pitt is 6-1 on the road. That's an offensive foul. They're going to call Ashton Langford for kicking his legs out. He can't believe it. And he's fouled out of this game. This is Ashton Langford's 5th foul.
That's a tough one. Again, from that angle right there, again, his legs are out, but a lot of times you see guys come off screens like that, but it's been that type of night, frustrating night. Again, credit Pitt for taking the 2 key pieces offensively really out of their game, and Quentin Post and Mekhi Ashton Langford.
They've only got 7 points apiece, Post and Ashton Langford. And that's just not enough for Boston College, who relies so heavily on those 2 offensively. And now frustration setting in for the Eagles. That foul against C.J. Pena. 18 fouls tonight for Boston College. Pitt shooting 1-1 here. For Boston College, rough few days, a 30-point home loss to NC State. Now you come on the road and keep it close for 30 minutes. But Pitt has really established themselves, and it'll be a tough trip home for Earl Grant and company.
Jay, I think you point back to this game, their inability to defend the three-point line. Right now, Pitt over 40% from the three-point line. They've made 11 of them, and it's, I think, how they got those threes. They were wide open looks. Really, Pitt did a good job breaking them down off the bounce. In particular, though, in transition, they were able to get their secondary actions.
Hard foul underneath. Guillermo Diaz-Graham, the freshman, hacked by Post. That's his 4th foul.
Yes, sir.
Diaz-Graham. Guillermo, one of 2 freshmen, twins from Spain for Jeff Capel. They've gotten more minutes in the absence of John Hughley. You know, we've seen them sparingly throughout the year. You can see those are 2 really big building blocks for this Pitt program going forward.
Yeah, and again, they have great length. They provide rim protection like Federico, but I think the other thing they add, they're very skilled offensively. They can shoot the ball, and they're guys also that are very good in ball screen coverage, so they're mobile where they can get out heads hard on those ball screens.
Another BC turnover. That's 14 on the night. A 25-point Panthers lead with under 4 minutes to play. On their way to another comfortable win in the ACC. Diaz-Graham left alone. Trying to add to already 11 made threes on the night. And Quinton Post has just fouled out of this game. Rough night for Boston College on the road. Night long, and for good reason. Pitt leading by 25, well on their way to improving to 12-3 in conference play. That would leave them alone at the top of the ACC and what is going to be an extremely fun finish to this regular season. Who will be the ACC champions? This is the remaining schedule for Pittsburgh. What stands out?
Well, I think obviously Virginia Tech, Syracuse, those 2 games, but then obviously that game on March 4th with Miami.
That could decide the ACC.
It could. Obviously, Virginia is going to have a lot to say about that as well, too, but certainly the way those 2 teams are playing right now, really, as you said, it's going to be an exciting finish to the end of this ACC regular season.
4 of those 5 games right here on ACC Network. As Pittsburgh tries to mount their ACC title race. Would you say 3 teams are in it, Virginia, Miami, Pitt, or do you still put Clemson in the race?
I wouldn't count Clemson out of this one. The way this season has gone, I wouldn't be surprised with anything. But Jeff Capel said this again, and I don't think it's just coach speak. On any given night, any of these teams can beat anybody, and certainly he is not taking that for granted.
And we saw that for the first 25 minutes of this game, as here comes Aiden Fish, the hometown hero. Grew up in nearby Murraysville, PA. Started as a student manager. Now has worked himself to a scholarship player.
And his energy, you can see it in shoot around. Again, he is a guy that any coach would want on their team. Energetic. He goes through all the scouting report for the opposing teams. And again, he is always jacked up with energy.
Has the ball here. He's yet to score in ACC play in his career. The Oakland Zoo surely rooting for it in the final 2 minutes. The game is in hand. What has impressed you most about Pittsburgh tonight?
Yes, Blake Hinson was on fire, right? Jamarius Burton was Jamarius Burton. But for me, and I think a lot of folks are going to raise their eyebrows when they look at this stat line. Federico, to me, was the X factor in this game. Yes, he had 10 points. Yes, he had 7 rebounds. But the defensive job he did on Quinton Post.
Yeah.
The guy that, again, we came in, talked about it. Jeff Capel mentioned it at the top of his scouting report when we said keys. He said, look, Quentin Post has really been a matchup problem, and the job that Federico did on him tonight, holding Quentin Post, the guy that came into this game averaging 21 points a game over his last 7 games. Really, to me, that was the key in the game.
And both Post and Ashton Langford fouled out of this game. You know, it's funny, Jeff Capel said, we know Boston College is going to be so physical, and yet it was Pitt that out-physicaled BC tonight.
Yeah, they did, and you know, you look at these numbers for them. Points in the paint, Pitt dominated that as well, too. 22 to Boston College's 12.
Everybody in the building wishing for Aiden Fish to get into the score sheet. Yeah, you'll see him in shoot around lead huddles and do so much behind the scenes that you'll never see, getting some well-deserved playing time in an ACC matchup. Deep three from Kelly, and it goes. Chaz Kelly, the freshman. He's been a bright spot tonight alongside of Mason Madsen.
He really has. Again, they're really high on him. Shared the freshman of the week honors this past week, and he continues to get better under Earl Grant.
You know, from Boston College back-to-back, big losses. Where do you go from here if you're BC?
Well, I think, look, a couple of things. Chaz Kelly, we just talked about him. He's getting more minutes now. I think the biggest issue they've had is they've gone through these scoring droughts. Again, they're not a team that's going to be marksmen from the three-point line. I think defensively they cannot have breakdowns because of their lack, I think, of three-point shooting. So, again, defensive breakdowns tonight against a team like Pitt. They really struggled defending the three-point line, and then points off of turnovers. Again, Pitt 16 points off of turnovers. That's difficult to do on the road against a team like Pitt that's really so efficient offensively.
That's his third personal, team number 10. This will be 2 shots for Jorge Diaz-Brent.
As you take a look at Jamarius Burton on the bench, he's the leader of this team. He's the guy, again, to me, that should be at the top of the list when you start talking about players of the year in the ACC. You look at his stat line tonight: 10 points, perfect 6 of 6 from the free throw line, 5 rebounds, and 3 assists.
And we said it at the top of the show, an ACC Player of the Year candidate. You don't hear his name in that conversation nearly enough.
And I think the other stat that doesn't show up, his defense. Again, he is one of the better defenders in the ACC as well. It was a gritty performance by this Pitt team. Jeff Capel spread it out, shot the 3-ball. Blake Hinson, but for me, Federico to me was the guy that set the tone defensively, shutting down Boston College's best offensive threat.
And it's a program record 12 ACC wins for a team that was picked preseason number 14.